Determined to win Zuri over, Mosi escalated his efforts. One afternoon, he approached her stall in the marketplace with a proposal. Zuri, he said, leaning in closer than usual, you are a talented woman, but this village can only offer you so much. You deserve more, a life of comfort, respect, and influence. Marry me, and I will give you everything you've ever dreamed of. Together we could build something far better than this. Zuri felt a surge of frustration rise within her. Moses' words were no different from those of the suitors she had left behind in her old village. He saw her as an opportunity, a prize to be claimed, rather than a person with her own dreams and desires. She knew his wealth and influence came at a cost. He wanted control, not love. I appreciate your offer, Mosi, Zuri replied calmly, but I am happy with my life here. I do not need wealth or status to feel fulfilled. Her words were polite but firm, yet she could see the flicker of annoyance in Moses' eyes. He was not used to being refused. Mosi, his pride wounded, gave her a tight smile. Think about it, Zuri, he said. You may not feel the need for wealth now, but things change. When you are tired of this simple life, remember my offer. As he walked away, Zuri felt a chill of uncertainty. She had rejected him, but she knew that Mosi was not the type of man to take rejection lightly. Years after Zuri had turned down Mosi's offer, Kato's distance became too much to bear. His once easygoing nature seemed burdened with unspoken concerns, and Zuri knew that she couldn't let this continue. One evening, as they sat by the river watching the sunset, Zuri decided to confront him. Kato, you've been quiet lately. Have I done something wrong? Kato looked down at the water, his expression tense. It's not you, Zuri. It's just I've been thinking a lot. I'm not like Mosi. I don't have riches or influence. I'm just a fisherman. I don't know if I can offer you the life you deserve. Zuri's heart sank as she realized what had been troubling him. She reached out and gently placed her hand on his. Kato, I don't care about wealth. I care about you. You've shown me more kindness and honesty than anyone ever has. Her voice was filled with sincerity, but Kato still seemed hesitant. I love you, Zuri, Kato confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. But I'm afraid that one day you'll realize you could have more with someone like Musi, someone who can give you the world, not just a life by the river. Zuri's eyes filled with tears. She knew now that her secret was not just a shield, it was a barrier between them. Kato had no idea that she had once been richer than Mosi, and that she had chosen this simple life to find the kind of love he was offering. But the fear of losing him was his own doubts weighed heavily on her heart. She knew she would have to reveal her true identity soon, but the timing still didn't feel right. Mosi did not take Zuri's rejection lightly. His pride, bruised by her refusal, turned to bitterness, and he became determined to win her over by any means necessary. He had noticed the growing closeness between Zuri and Kato, and though Zuri had politely rejected his offer, Mosi was not one to give up so easily. If he couldn't have Zuri through charm, he would use his influence and cunning. Mosi began to spread rumors about Zuri in the village. He whispered to the other merchants, suggesting that Zuri was hiding something, that her skills as a weaver were too refined for someone with no known background. Slowly but surely, the whispers spread, and soon villagers began to question Zuri's true identity. Why had she arrived in the village alone? Why did she never speak of her past? Kato too heard the rumors, though he tried to dismiss them. They gnawed at the back of his mind. He had always known that Zuri was different. Her grace, her intelligence, and the way she carried herself. Now, with the village gossip swirling around them, Kato couldn't help but wonder if there were more to Zuri's story than she had told him. He had fallen in love with her simplicity and honesty, but the rumors cast a shadow of doubt over his heart. As the rumors spread and Kato grew more distant, Zuri felt trapped. She had come to the village to escape the greed and manipulation that surrounded her wealth. But now the very thing she was running from seemed to be catching up with her. She could see the change in Kato. He no longer looked at her with the same easy affection. His smiles were fewer, and their conversations were strained. He hadn't confronted her directly, but Zuri knew that the rumors had reached him. Zuri's heart ached. She had found something real with Kato, something she had never experienced before, but her secret was tearing them apart. She feared that if she told him the truth, Kato would see her as just another wealthy woman, no different from the suitors she had rejected in her old life. And yet, if she kept her secret, the distance between them would only grow. One evening, as Zuri sat by the river alone, she knew that she had to make a decision. She couldn't continue living in this web of lies and half-truths. But how could she reveal her true identity without losing Kato's love and trust? The fear of rejection weighed heavily on her, but she knew that the time of hiding was coming to an end. The question was whether Kato would still stand by her once he knew the truth. It wasn't long before Moses' schemes reached their peak. One day, in the busy marketplace, he approached Zuri once more, this time with a more aggressive tone. "Zuri," he said, loud enough for the nearby villagers to hear, "you've been keeping secrets from us, haven't you? Who are you really? Why did you come to this village?" His words echoed through the market, drawing the attention of everyone around. Zuri felt her heart race as all eyes turned towards her. She tried to stay calm, but the weight of Moses' accusations bore her down on her. "I have nothing to hide," she replied, though her voice wavered slightly. Moses smirked, sensing her discomfort. "Nothing to hide?" he repeated mockingly. "A woman as skilled as you are, with no family, no history. It's strange, don't you think? Maybe the villagers deserve to know the truth." His words were laced with venom, and Zuri could see the doubt flickering in the eyes of the villagers around her. Mosi had planted the seed of suspicion, and now it was growing. Before Zuri could respond, Kato stepped forward from the crowd, his face tensed with concern. "Mosi, that's enough," he said firmly, but Zuri could see the question in his eyes, the same question Mosi had planted. Who was she really? Kato had never asked her before, but now, with the entire village watching, it seemed he needed answers as much as anyone else. Zuri's heart sank. The moment she had feared had come. she would have to reveal her true identity or risk losing everything. But as she looked at Kato, she realized that the truth might cost her the very thing she had been searching for all along, his love. Zoe felt the weight of the moment crushing down on her. The village marketplace, once a place of peace and simple living, now felt hostile and heavy with suspicion. Her gaze shifted from Moses' smug face to the villagers who had once welcomed her and finally to Kato. His eyes filled with both worry and curiosity, pleaded for an explanation. Taking a deep breath, Zuri straightened her back and spoke. I have never lied to you, but I haven't told you everything about who I am. Her voice, though shaky at first, gained strength as she continued. My name is not Zuri. In my former life, I was called Adisa. I came from a wealthy village far from here. I left my home because I was tired of being pursued for my wealth, not for who I truly am. I wanted to find someone who could love me for myself without knowing my fortune. A murmur rippled through the crowd as Zuri, now Adisa, revealed her past. Kato stood motionless, his face a mask of disbelief and shock. Mosi, who had instigated this confrontation, seemed momentarily stunned by the gravity of the truth. The villagers whispered among themselves, unsure of how to react. Kato finally spoke, his voice low. So everything you told me, all the time we spent together, it was all part of a plan? There was no anger in his tone, only sadness and confusion. Adisa's heart sank at his words, knowing how deeply her secret had hurt him. Adisa looked at Kato, her heart breaking at the distance between them. It wasn't a plan to deceive you, Kato, she said, her voice soft. I came here to escape a life where people only saw my wealth. I wanted to live simply, to find love that wasn't based on money. Everything I felt for you has been real, even if my name and my past weren't. Kato remained silent, his eyes searching her face for some sign of truth. Adisa had never felt more vulnerable in her life. She had been stripped of her disguise, laid bare before the man she loved and the village she had called home. I didn't mean to hurt you, she continued, but I couldn't keep pretending forever. The crowd around them remained hushed, sensing the tension between them. Lucy, who had set this entire confrontation in motion, seemed to relish the drama, though even he seemed unsure of how to proceed now that Adisa's true identity had been revealed. Finally, Kato spoke again, his voice steady but filled with emotion. I don't know what to say, Adisa. I fell in love with Suri, the humble weaver, not the wealthy woman you once were. I need time to think about this. With those words, he turned and walked away, leaving Adisa standing alone in the marketplace, the weight of her confession hanging heavily in the air. As Kato walked away, Adisa felt a hollow emptiness in her chest. She had feared this moment for so long, and now it had come to pass. She had revealed her truth, but in doing so, she might have lost the one thing she had been searching for, Kato's love. The villagers slowly dispersed, leaving her standing in the marketplace with Moses' lingering gaze following her every move. For days, Adisa kept to herself, retreating to her small hut at the edge of the village. The villagers, unsure of how to approach her now that her secret was out, kept their distance. Even her stall in the market remained empty, as she no longer had the heart to sell her woven goods. The life she had built as Zuri seemed to be crumbling, and the fear of losing Kato forever weighed heavily on her mind. Meanwhile, Kato struggled with his feelings. He wandered by the river, his mind racing thoughts of Zuri, Adisa. He had fallen in love with the simple weaver, but now he knew that she was far more complicated than he had ever imagined. Yet, despite the shock and confusion, Kato couldn't deny the bond they had shared. The woman he had come to love had been honest in her actions, if not in her name. But could he accept the wealth status she had hidden from him? Could he trust her again now that her secret was out? Mercy had been watching the unfolding drama with keen interest, while Adisa wrestled with her feelings for Kato and the fallout of her revelation. Mercy saw an opportunity. He had always believed that wealth and power would win in the end, and now that Adisa's true identity was known, he was determined to use the situation to his advantage. In his mind, the confusion and uncertainty in the village would play right into his hands. Mosi began spreading more insidious rumors, this time suggesting that Adisa had been lying to everyone, not just Kato. He claimed that her arrival in the village had been a calculated move to manipulate the villagers, and that her secret wealth meant she could never be trusted. Slowly but surely, some of the villagers started to listen. Moses' words planted seeds of doubt in their minds. After all, if she could lie about her name and her past, who was to say what else she had been hiding? Moses didn't stop there. He began to pressure the village elders, suggesting that Adisa's presence was a danger to their way of life. She's not one of us, he told them, and she never will be. If she lied once, she will lie again. You cannot trust someone who came here under the false pretenses. His goal was clear: to drive Adisa out of the village once and for all, and to position himself as the savior who had uncovered her deceit. While Moses schemed to turn the village against Adisa, Kato wrestled with his own feelings. He spent his days by the river, thinking about everything that had happened, the love he had felt for Zuri, the shock of discovering her true identity, and the deep connection they had shared before her secret came to light. Despite the betrayal he had felt, Kato couldn't deny that he still cared for her. He had seen her heart, her kindness, her strength. The wealth and status she had hidden didn't change the woman she truly was. One afternoon, Kato made his decision. He couldn't let Moses' rumors or his own doubts dictate his actions. He realized that Adisa had hidden her identity not out of malice, but out of fear. Fear that no one would love her for who she truly was. He had fallen in love with her heart, her values, and her gentle spirit, and no amount of wealth or status could change that. Kato returned to the village, determined to confront Mose and put an end to the lies that were being spread about Adisa. He gathered the village elders and a crowd of onlookers, including Mose, who stood smirking at the edge of the gathering. Kato stepped forward and spoke with conviction. Adisa may have hidden her name, but she has never hidden her heart. I have known her as Zuri, a woman who has shown nothing but kindness and honesty in her actions. If she came here to escape a life of wealth, it was because she sought something greater, something real. The villagers listened to Kato's words, their expressions shifting from doubt to understanding. Mosi, sensing his control slipping, tried to interrupt. "You are defending a woman who lied to us all," he shouted. "She doesn't belong here, and she never will." But Kato remained firm. "Adisa belongs here because she chose to make this village her home. She chose to live simply, to walk alongside us, and to share in our way of life. Her wealth means nothing if her heart is true. And I, for one, will not let her be cast out because of someone else's greed." The village elders, moved by Kato's words, turned to Mosi with disapproving eyes. They had seen the truth of Adisa's character through her actions in the village. Moses' attempts to turn them against her had failed, and his scheming ways were finally exposed for what they were, a desperate bid for power and control. Moses, realizing he had lost, stormed out of the gathering in defeat. The villagers slowly turned to Adisa, their expressions now warm and welcoming. The fear and suspicion had passed, replaced by understanding and acceptance. Adisa stepped forward, and her heart full of emotion. As she looked at Kato, "Thank you," she whispered, her voice trembling with gratitude. Kato smiled, his eyes filled with love. "I fell in love with you, not for your name or your wealth, but for who you are. Nothing will ever change that." In the days that followed, Adisa and Kato were married in a simple ceremony by the river where they had first shared their conversations and dreams. The village, once divided by suspicion, celebrated their union with joy and laughter. Adisa had finally found the love she had been searching for, a love that was built on trust, respect, and true understanding. Together, Adisa and Kato lived a life not of wealth and power, but of love and mutual respect. In the end, it was not her hidden name or fortune that mattered, but the heart she had revealed to the man who loved her for who she truly was.